Good morning, everybody. Sometimes things happen in history that at the moment people realize the event is historic. And one of those happened on this date, March the 9th in 1862, when two ironclad warships met off the coast of Virginia near Norfolk, the Monitor versus the Merrimac, thus ending the era of the wooden warship instantly. When the Civil War began, one of the strategies of the North was to blockade the South. And all through the Civil War, the Union Navy blockaded the major ports of the Confederacy, including Norfolk, Virginia, at the bottom of this map. If you look to the upper left is Richmond, the capital of the Confederacy, and then toward the top, Washington, D.C. So Norfolk is really strategic when it comes to the waterways in that area. So in the upper left, you see the Merrimac. It was a propelled ship with sails. The Union Navy burned it when it left Norfolk, but it only burned the top part. So the Confederate took the bottom part and fortified it. And you can see in this picture the Merrimac compared to the Monitor in size. So here's the site of our event. Hampton Roads is the waterway that separates Norfolk from Hampton. And the Union Navy was at the north part of this map, and the Confederate Navy was at the bottom part. So the Merrimac went out to attack the northern blockade, and the first ship it sank was the Cumberland. It rammed it, and you can see on the right the Merrimac coming in, ramming the Cumberland. It also burned the Congress, so it was a big loss for the Union Navy. So the Monitor showed up the next day. Here's the Monitor relative to a sailing ship, so you can get the sense of size. It's March 9, 1862. And the two ships fought. Here's one of the many artist renditions of that. They fought for hours. The battle is full of a lot of detail, which you might want to look up on your own. But at the end of the day, they each withdrew. It was a draw, and they never fought again. And here's a picture of the Monitor with some dents in its armor plating on the left. So that gives you a sense of the scale of the Monitor. Well, it wasn't long after this that the Confederates abandoned Norfolk, and they burned the Merrimac. And it blew up once the fire got to where the gunpowder was. So that was the end of the Merrimac. And that same year in December, the Monitor, while being towed up to North Carolina, foundered. And it sank. So either ship didn't really last that long in the war. Well, it was in the 1970s that the Monitor was actually found off the coast of North Carolina by some divers. It became a national marine sanctuary, and over the years, bits of it have been brought to the surface, including the turret, which I think is what everybody thinks of when they think of the Monitor, that revolving turret, which one guy could do with steam power. And here's a reproduction of what the turret looked like. There's a Mariners Museum in Hampton Roads, which has these displays. You may want to check it out. And they have a replica of the Monitor. So this gives you a sense of the size of the ship. So that's worth a visit. Now, a cool side note is that the Peruvian Navy built this ship in 1865. It was built in Britain, but it had the same technology as the Monitor. It's a museum ship now in Chile, because the Chilean Navy beat the Peruvian Navy, but that's kind of neat. And some of the descendants of these first iron warships. So here's Olympia. This was Commodore Dewey's ship in the Battle of Manila Bay in 1898. You can see it in Philadelphia. Here's the Dreadnought, 1906. The first all-big gun warship actually gave its name to a type of ship, the Dreadnought. This was a British ship. Here's the USS Massachusetts, 1941. This is actually in our state of Massachusetts. You may want to visit it if you ever come out here. And then one of the big four battleships of the World War II era, the USS Iowa, built in 1942, and it's on display as a museum ship in California. And this is our latest aircraft carrier, the Ford class, 2017. So a big legacy of these two warships that met in Hampton Roads in 1862.